I use a Pi-Star and or an Openspot 4 Pro with my D-Star and my DMR radios. It's a lot of fun. But honestly, the range of my hotspots is a little disappointing. If only the range could be extended, life would be grand. The things I could do, almost utopian. All right, maybe not so much. And yeah, the Openspot 4 Pro especially is pretty easy to throw in your pocket with a built-in battery, but you still need an internet connection, most likely your phone, and it works all right. But it sure does get aggravating to have to remember to grab it, and then also you keep dropping your hotspot connection. Well, if you have an extra or a spare Icom ID-5100 laying around, or maybe every once in a while you might want to give this a shot, you too can bask in relatively carefree, easy-going world of adventure. All this and more up next on the Higgins Report. Welcome to the Higgins Report. I'm Mike Higgins reporting, and here's my report. So first things first, I use the RT Systems program to program my ID-5100. It doesn't matter whatever you use. If you use Icom software or whatever, it's going to be the same thing. What I did here was I created a couple of channels here to make it, memory channels to make it easier. You could, of course, dial your frequencies in when I'm about to show you through the VFO, but we're fancy here at the Higgins Report. So as you can see here, I have a channel labeled CB to Pi-Star, so that's crossband to Pi-Star. And then I've got another channel here labeled CB to Openspot. That's going to be the frequency of my Openspot 441.115. So those are my memory channels for cross banding. Here is my input frequency that I would call it. I'm coming in on 2 meters on 146.430, and I've got that labeled crossband VHF. So that's my memory channels. I also have channels set up as a what looks like a D-Star repeater or a hotspot to the radio. I basically just copied it's the same whether I'm using my Pi-Star or my Openspot. I just changed the frequency to 146.430, copied the channel, and I renamed it Hotspot Extend, and all the other information is the same as my two other hotspots. So I've just created an extra one at 146.430. So that's it on the software. Let's take a look at the radio. All right, now that you've seen how the radio was set up with the programming software, again, you could use whatever software you use to program your radio. And again, this is the ID-5100, the Icom radio, and I'm going to show you how it's set up. For my input side, my input frequency, the frequency that I will be transmitting on the other radio, which will be my transmit radio, I am going into 146.430. You can see right here I've already got it in repeater mode, and then the output here of the radio is 441.115. That's the frequency of my Openspot. I also have a Pi-Star. I could have set it to the Pi-Star, but I set it to the Openspot for the purposes of this experiment. So, in case you're not familiar, to get this in repeat mode, you go to Menu, you go to Others, Repeat Mode, and then for D-Star, I found that you can have the hang-up time set to off. If you were going to try to do this with DMR, which does work, I've done it, you would change this to on, and you would want to do dual time slot on your DMR radio, but that's another video. So repeater mode, yes, and now it's in repeater mode, and that's indicated by the flashing RPT symbol at the bottom. So that's it for the setup here in the shack. We're going to take a walk out to my vehicle and go for a ride, and let's see how far, what kind of range I can get extending my hotspot using crossband repeat with the ID-5100. Here is our mobile radio that we're going to be using as our transmit radio. I have it set up. I named that channel Hotspot Extender, and I'm outputting on frequency 146/430. I've got it basically set up just like I would my normal hotspot. When using a normal hotspot, I just simply changed the frequency and the name of the channel. So basically out in the driveway right now, and if I were to check and make sure it works at all before we even go for a ride, let me do a quick transmission. KB9 MLJ testing. KB9 MLJ testing. KB9 MLJ testing. All right, pretty fancy. So it works to my driveway. Not too impressive yet, but let's take a ride and let's see how far away we can get. I've gone 9 miles from my house, and we're going to go ahead and give it a shot here. So my radio's in the same channel. Let's see if we can do an echo test. KB9 MLJ testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. KB9 MLJ testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I am 9 miles from my hotspot right now, and as you can tell, I've got a very good signal. Let's see what else we can do. We're able to do a simple echo test, but as I said, we are going into a Openspot 4 Pro, which allows us to, not only are we going to crossband repeat through this ID-5100, but let's see if we can actually crossband repeat and then cross mode into DMR. See if it works. First thing I need to do is connect to Brandmeister. So I do have that pre-programmed into the radio, so I'm selecting Brandmeister 3102. It would help if I actually selected Brandmeister and not the echo test. Let's give it a shot again.
Openspot connected to Brandmeister 3102.
Alright, so now going through the crossband repeater, I've connected to Brandmeister. Now I'm going to connect to a talk group. And just for the heck of it, I'll go with 3100. Now, the Openspot 4 Pro does not actually announce when you connect to a talk group, so I don't know if I'm connected actually or not. So I'm just going to throw my call sign out. KB9 MLJ listening on 3100 for a quick radio check.
Station Navy radio check, you're sounding good and clear here in Memphis, Tennessee. Sound like right next door to me, or right at the next car next to me. But whatever you're doing, keep doing.
All right, excellent. I appreciate the comeback there. I was just doing some experiments here with the hotspot and making sure things were set up. I knew I could hit the echo test, but I wasn't sure how good I was actually going to get into 3100. So, all right, well, I just got some more tinkering to do, and I'll say 73s, and we'll catch you again sometime. This is KB9 MLJ, clear.
The West Users Association of Mission Park, and it is a useful way of visit. This is, I'm sure, is the year into. So back to you. This is A0G.
Well, I don't know what that was, but we did successfully do a DMR contact into talk group 3100 cross
It's also
banding and cross modem. Now I'm going to try using the handheld, and let's see if I could, even though I'm 9 miles from my house, will I be able to use a handheld as well? Let's see. Yeah, that didn't work. All right, so this looks like it works pretty good when I'm using my mobile radio with a mobile antenna on the outside of the car. However, when I try to use my handy talkie when I'm 9 miles away, it doesn't work so good. I'm driving back now, and I'm about 5 miles from my house, and I can finally hit it with my D74. I can hit my house and I get a reply back, whether I do an echo, or at this point, since it was kind of spotty, I didn't want to be quote unquote chunking a reflector and not actually getting enough signal in to where I could get an echo test, but I maybe would be interfering with communication. So anyway, what I'm doing right now to know if I'm hitting it is I am sending an unlink command. I just transmitted.
Openspot, special connector, active.
So I know I'm hitting my home QTH because I can send an unlink command. Now, interestingly, so this is the D74, and this works really well. However, my ID-50A that I have programmed, just like I have the 5100 programmed, does not work. I've noticed it doesn't work at all. I did try it back at the house as well, and I can look and see if I hold the push to talk for about 6 seconds, it will finally go ahead and get crossband repeated. However, it won't go right away. There's some setting on the ID-50A that I have not quite figured out yet. So it's not an issue with the crossband repeating of the ID-5100. Obviously, that's working fine, but it's something to do with the setting in the ID-50A. So if anybody out there figures that out, if you get that to work, please leave it on the comments below, because I'd like to be able to do that, and I haven't got it yet. Well, thanks, Mike in the field, for that mesmerizing demo. Now, you too can amaze your friends, and no doubt, impress the ladies. In a world of cross-dressers and cross-sexers, be a leader, cross-band, and cross-mode. And for those of you who make comment, you can't do that. That radio has to ID every 10 minutes. You fool. Well, if you use the Openspot and not the Pi-Star, you can set it to CWID every 10 minutes. So there. Who's the fool now? That concludes this Higgins report. I've reported my report. 73 for now, and be safe.